Those guys. You know why? Because good credit doesn't sell. Good credit doesn't make any money. People that have good credit make different decisions than people that have bad credit. Very little inquiries. They make a purchase. They go somewhere and they buy something. They pretty much already have the financing secured at their bank. So there really is no reason for more inquiries or no reason to shop. They go out, they purchase, and they make a decision, and that's it. So there's not a lot of activity. A bad credit file gets sold here, gets pulled here. It's just chaos. And every time, every single time that something is challenged on the credit report, they charge the person who reported them. It may be only a quarter, it may be only 25 cents, but you start thinking about it. TRW or Experian gets over 100,000 disputes an hour. 100,000 an hour times 25 cents. They charge that directly to the people that report you. They make so much money. Okay, it's ridiculous. They hit the trillions. Okay, so they really don't care whether or not you ever have good credit again or not. They are not looking out for you at all. We've already talked about a lot of this stuff. You're going to get the results in the mail. If you don't get the results in the mail, that doesn't mean anything is not happening. Okay, a lot of these guys are doing electronic updates. There's no reason for us to look at your credit unless we don't get anything back in the mail. Sometimes that happens, and we might want to do a repull in 90 days and see what's going on, but that's not going to hurt you. Okay. Inquiries are not as bad as you think. They make up about 10% of your score, okay? But the way inquiries are done is, this is a myth that I'm going to bust right here. You go shopping for a car, anybody gotten sent around 20, 30 different times on a car loan? Guess what? It doesn't hurt you. They take all those 20 inquiries from all those car banks and they put them and they categorize them as one, okay? Used to be thought, 2 years ago, that was not the case. Now that is the case because of companies like ours that are on the that go through and do the things that we do, and our association goes through and lobbies and gets these things taken care of. Because if you're going to go buy a car and you've got challenging credit, you shouldn't be penalized for that, okay? Because you're going to have to go a few different places. They're going to have to spin you around the world, is what they call it. Just spin it, baby. See what happens. One of them will grab it, and all of a sudden you wake up and you got 25 new inquiries on your credit report. All right, that's okay, because all they do is they take all of those auto inquiries and put it, and they label it as a one inquiry. Okay, so it doesn't hurt you as much as it used to. So, and basically how it works is we tear them up. I mean, we just overload them with paperwork, and most of them, especially now when business is not as profitable as it used to be, so companies make cuts. Okay, it's hard to verify everything that the law requires. Now, this has been lowered. It's no longer $350, it's $300. Who cares, right? $350, $300, I don't want either one of them. $350 to $850, okay? There is no such thing as a 900 credit score. Okay, if somebody tells you that, they're full of it. There's really no such thing as an 850 credit score. Okay? There's really not. You start with it, but immediately, the 800 credit score, 800 to 850, I mean, who has that? I don't see it, ever. Ever have I've never seen anything in between those two. And I've been in the housing market my whole life. I've seen some close stuff. I think I've seen an 802 on one, but I'm talking like a mid-score. That's impossible. These people don't count. 600 to 800, less than 18%. All right, those are hard numbers because anything below really right now, a 640 is considered poor, so this is even higher. This is hard numbers right here. It's the highest it's ever been. In the history of credit, the highest it's ever been, the worst it's ever been is right here. These people that can buy a home, over 90% of them already own a house. I don't want to be a realtor right now. It's tough. Because all your group of people already own something. Okay, so it's really, really tough. If you finish the program and you go through the whole process and you make your payments on time and you establish some new trade lines and we get through cleaning up as much of it as we can. Okay, we average about 70 to 80%. So 7 to 8 out of 10 of your bad stuff is going to come off your credit report legally without you having to pay any of it. Okay, that's the average. Some of you may fall in the low side, around 50%. Some of you may fall in the high side. Some of you may get lucky and we get it all. Okay, but most of you are going to fit right in the middle. This is where you're going to end up. And I know that seems absolutely impossible, probably where you're sitting today. But the older that credit gets, okay, the older it gets, the less it affects your credit score. Do not speak to any collection company. Don't send back anything in the mail. Give it to us. You don't talk to them. They're not allowed you to call you at work. They're not allowed to threaten legal processing against you. It is illegal for them to threaten you with legal unless you're served. They can't just say, well, we'll take you to court. Okay? We need to know these things. Okay? If somebody sends you something that threatens you in a court manner, other than if you're not served and it's a legal judgment that you've got to go to, call us. We need to know about that because we need to instruct you on what to do if you do have to go to court. Okay? But that won't be through us, just so you know that. If you get served to go to court on a judgment from a credit card, it's because it's not anything that we've done as a company. It's just that's sometimes the normal process of a really big account. But they're not allowed to do anything like that for you. But also, from your standpoint, you do not have to speak to any of them. If you do speak to them, what they are allowed to do is to update your account. If they change the date on last activity on your account, it will affect you like it was just charged off today. It will have the maximum negative effect on your credit score. Do not speak to any of them. Do not settle with any of them. Okay? When we get to the point when we're done, and maybe there's a half a dozen things left on there, we're going to ask you if you would like to settle. We start at about 10 cents on the dollar, and we typically end up with 30 to 40 cents on the dollar when it's all said and done. But at that point, you would need to be prepared to settle. Okay, we need to know what we're prepared for. Don't settle, because you know what a settled collection account is? It's a brand new collection. It's just settled, but it's brand new. So it's going to hit your credit and affect it in a negative manner, just like it was a fresh collection, because it's showing date of last activity as the day that you settled or paid it. Okay? Don't do anything, because you'll affect your credit score bad. And then if it gets old enough, there's really no reason to do anything with it. Because if you establish new trade lines, your credit scores are going to be strong enough to stand on their own. I own the company. I have 2 things on my credit, and they're not good. I have a ton of good stuff now, and I have high 700s, but when it comes to, there's 2 things on there. One of them is completely out of my control. The other one, I will never, ever pay those people. I'll win the lottery and they ain't getting a dime of my money. Those people were so wrong. They threatened me. They threatened my wife. It was horrible. I'll never pay those guys. It was the worst. I mean, it was really bad. Okay, so you'll be asked, do you want to pay this? And you're more than welcome to say, I ain't paying those people, but I'd be more than happy to settle with them. They were real nice to me. I did that. But don't do anything until we get to that point, because it's part of the service. It's free. We'll do all the legal paperwork. We'll do all the letters. We'll do everything for you. And we get really good success. But most of it you don't need to do. A lot of people get to this point and they say, no, I mean, honestly, I've got my house. I've got good credit now. Can they ever come back? No, they can't. It's the state of Texas. They can't garnish your wages. The only people in the state of Texas that can garnish your wages is the IRS and student loans. Who? Yes, there you go. Oh, yes, that too. Child support. Okay, child support. I always leave that one out. Forget about it. Child support, IRS, and government student loans. Other than that, you live in California, guess what? Dillards come take your paycheck. That's crazy. This is Ox Publishing, no credit check, $5,000 line of credit, just like that. How do I check the status of my credit? If you're already in the program and you don't have your login name and your password, call us. We need to give it to you, because you go here, or you can go to our website, creditforhomes.com, and you go to the bottom left, log in, because you're already a customer. It'll ask you for your name and password, and you can see everything. You can see all the things that have been going on. You can write us. You can scan it. You can email us. You can see all the stuff that's on there, anything that's been deleted, everything, right at your fingertips. Okay, let's get to the meat of this whole deal. Credit, the number 4, homes.com. That's our website, and then you go down to customer login. It'll take you right to that. Does having a high credit score mean that I'm approved? Absolutely not. No. No, no, and no. Okay? There's so much more to it than that. Now, years ago, you came to me with a 620. press hard. Okay, third copy's yours. Let's go. You didn't even have to prove your income. You didn't have to prove where you work. None of that. Not anymore. Okay? Here's what it is. You go to a mortgage company or you go to a bank or you find a home out there. Okay? You get the contract all written up and you go into the bank or you go to their approval. Okay? You fill out, most of the time this is the way it works. You fill out a short application. Maybe have 10 lines on it. Name, social, address, income, where you work, how long you've been there. And then first thing they do is they pull your credit. First thing they do is they pull your credit. They don't care about anything else. Why? Because unless you get to a credit score, you can't fill out the rest of the application. Okay, most of them are savvy like this nowadays. Most mortgage and lending institutions will not take you to that point of going through all of that paperwork and doing all of that stuff without looking at your credit score. Okay? All right, now I'm the first one to tell you, I know what it's like to go to a car lot, get shown a bunch of cars, fall in love, come back in, salesperson's all happy, gonna make a commission because I done said yes. He's excited, I'm excited. Here, fill that out. I'll be right back. He never come back. He never showed back up. He sent somebody else over like 10 minutes later. We're sorry, but we can't help you. The guy never came back. He was so, they don't do that anymore. You go ahead and fill it. You got bad credit, go ahead and fill it out. We'll see if you can fill out the application. Okay? That's what seriously, you got a 650. You know what that means? That means you get to fill out an app. That's it. You've done all that hard work. You paid all your bills on time. Now, granted, having good credit does tons of things for you and your life and your family. It makes everything easier, better, okay? Makes you save money, lots of it. But they're going to look at all your stuff. They're going to look at your ratios. How much money do you make versus how much money are you spending versus how much house are you buying. They're going to look at that. They're going to look at your verification of rent, okay? That's why I said in the beginning, you might not like it. And if you don't, pick the one you dislike the least and get something that's affordable that you can make those payments on time. Because once they verify your credit score and then once they verify that you make enough money to pay for the house that you're trying to buy, the next place they're going to is your landlord. And they want to make sure that you've paid your current